And
No,
okay.
not yet.
Oh,
Wait a minute.
I see it.
That's it.
That's it.
Happy
All right.
Thursday.
Happy Thursday, everyone.
Hey.
Friday Eve.
Yes. So welcome back to the Good Girlfriends Chat. We are so thankful and blessed to be back another Thursday. And I have to say that I have been waiting for this show for a very long time. This is something that I have particularly been interested in. And the topic for tonight is basically the importance of having a village. And we're sharing a village out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania tonight. So we'll get back. I just want to introduce myself. I'm Cara Dunston, and I'm going to turn it over to Bernita.
Hi, I'm Benita Bellamy. Once again, I'm grateful to be here with my good girlfriends. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Hi, I'm Cornita Tubman. I am always happy to be here. Sorry, I've missed a couple of times, but I've been listening when I couldn't be active, but I'm back.
Welcome back.
Hey, I'm Marcia. I'm Marcia Penn. Grateful to be here on this evening with the Good Girlfriends and introducing my good village sisters from Philly. So I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves. And somebody said one of the Good Girlfriends is my sister. Maybe people can figure out which one. We won't tell. So I'm going to let my village sorors, my sisters, my soror, my ride or dies, and my girlfriends, and let each of them introduce themselves.
Well, my name is Blondell Reynolds Brown. My heart always gets very happy during times like this to be surrounded by women who we're joined together for sure as sisters. We just weren't born together by the same mama.
True indeed.
Go next.
You want to go next?
Oh, I'm Robbie. I am Marcia. And these are all my sisters, just as Blondell said. They are sister friends. This is a wonderful, wonderful group of amazing women that I am so thankful to have in my life.
Hi, everybody. I'm Loretta Sweet Jamat, and I'm so excited to be here tonight to just be with my sisters. You know, we could not have gone through this journey without each other. We raised our kids together. We dealt with our husbands together. We've grown together. We've prayed together. We've cried together. And guess what? We have survived and thrived together. So I'm looking forward to this conversation and just hanging out with my sisters tonight.
Hi, I'm Sheila. And I'm looking forward to this discussion that we're going to have. This is a new venue or new forum for me. So I'll try to be as vocal and honest, in my opinion. But it has been a blessing to be part of this group. I don't know why God put us in the place that we were, in the position for us to meet each other, but he did. And I have been truly blessed by knowing each and every one of the Village Sisters.
Hi, I'm Bridget. I'm happy to be here joining the Good Girlfriends for the first time. I will go back and watch some of your videos. The village has been a blessing in my life. I enjoy being around all my good, very talented, special ladies.
How about beautiful?
Yeah, of course, Pax.
I'm just saying.
Of course, she.
Oh, hi, everyone. I'm Jeanette. This is a very exciting show for me. Cara is one of my very good friends, my sister friend who has been with me in Philadelphia to visit. So she has got to experience firsthand what the village, who the village is, what the village represents, the contagiousness of the village, of the connection. And, you know, we've been wanting to have this show and have you on forever. So I'm glad. I mean, even before there was a show, Cara would say, this is something that people need to know about. Like, this is, you know, amazing. So I will just say, usually my disclaimer is that we are not experts, right? Tonight I'm going to say we are experts. We did bring the experts together in terms of showing what a village looks like, and what a village can do for your children, for your personal development. So I just want to welcome those guests that are new, that are viewing us for the first time. Welcome to our virtual living room. Tonight, we're going to kick it with our good girlfriends, our good village girlfriends, like good girlfriends do. I hope you enjoy the show. And just welcome the folks that have joined us every week. Welcome back. We're glad to see you and have you again with us. So I'm very excited about this topic and about seeing my people here tonight.
So grab some tea or wine or whatever you want.
Right.
Whatever works for you.
Y'all
like her, right?
Yeah, so I just add, as I was talking to Robbie earlier this week, we were talking about the span of our connection. So, Robbie has, obviously, is my sister. Some people said they could tell, imagine that. So she's my longest girlfriend, and because we've been obviously together since she was born. She's baby girl. We have an older brother, and then I'm in the middle. But in addition to that, I'd say that next girlfriend, our girlfriends span 50 years, and our ages span a 20-year age span. So there are some others of us. We have there are so many different levels of our village, and there's a group of us who has a text chat. There's about 10 of us, and that's a 20-year age span and 50 years worth of relationships. So just want to put that out. It is solid. It is solid as a rock, and we can't say, our parents, our friends can say how grateful and special and blessed that having a group of village is. And my sister said, oh, Marcia, we're going to get so emotional, because it really is an emotional thing. It is. And the other day I heard someone say, we are strong because of a village. And I will say we are strong, and we are stronger because of having a village. I would not change this for the world. Ups and downs, agreements and disagreements, but this group here get each other through on a night.
Yeah.
I just want to say real quick that one of the reasons why I found this group, this village, to be so spectacular was because of my own personal experience as a child. And I don't think we've gotten into the history of the village yet, but I would love for you to touch on the fact that the schools that your children attended, and how that they may have been one of few African American children in those schools. And having been a child in that experience and not having this type of village support, it was not only a difficult time in school and outside of school. I had other support, but if I had had that support in school, I think my mother might have kept me in those private schools a little longer. She finally took me out in high school, but I think because she didn't have that kind of support in those schools, that she was like, it's time for you to move on to a different environment. So I'd love to hear the history of how this started, and the whole, how that happened with the schools, and your children attending the same schools. And
so let me say, and then I'll let everybody else talk about the school experiences. So Loretta, Jeanette, Sheila, myself, our children all went to the same independent private Catholic school. And then Jeanette, Sheila, Londell, their girls went to a private independent school. So
All girls.
There was all girls school. School was a mixed gender school. So I've just laid that foundation out. Myself and Bridget are the only ones in the group that have boys. So we are the two moms with the two boys, and all of the other girls I call my girls. So, people at work used to say, I thought you only had one child. And I'm like, oh, really? No, there's many. So I'll let everybody else kind of chime in on their experiences.
I think
Marcy has done a great job at giving what we would call the demographics of our group. I've never heard it framed out that way before. And actually, I've learned a bit tonight about how we are multi-generational. But the seedlings really are our children. But for our children, I'm not so sure that we would have connected in the way that we have. And I'm not so certain it would have sustained itself for the close to 2 decades that we've been together, having the highs, the lows, the tough times, the sad times, and the countless happy times, because our children gave us a reason to celebrate every weekend.
Every weekend.
Every weekend. Every weekend. Every
Y'all
weekend.
had a reason to celebrate.
Sometimes
So,
it's like
so
that.
you call the occasion. You can
Whatever.
call the occasion from someone who, just done well in a swim match, to their first dance class, to my gosh, a track meet, to call it. Just call it.
We celebrated it.
We had
And
our
I-
own audience. We had our own audience. So if nobody else showed up, we had an audience for our children.
And I would like to say, just to add, that there had to be a place that we would meet, all of us. And where was that place?
Raise your hand, raise your hand.
The black hole.
Yes.
Amen.
Loretta and her husband, John, were kind enough to open their homes to the Village crew. So
And-
when we got
and
together,
Village's- and the Village's friends, because I've been
and
to
yes,
Loretta's home.
yes.
You won't know how
Yes.
to celebrate. I
So
will
I just
say.
had to add that.
I
Mhm.
remember, yeah, we had swim parties, back parties, you name it, parties, whatever the celebration party, jump in the pool party ourselves. We were
Mhm. Well, I'm not jumping in the pool. I'll stick my toe
feet
in.
was in the
Okay.
pool, Sheila. You were kind of cooling out with us
Yeah, my feet were floating. Okay.
and falling backwards into the pool.
Well, no, that wasn't me. That was you, Loretta.
Oh, okay.
Loretta, Jeanette, Sheila, and Blondie, whose daughters all went to the same all-female. Talk about those experiences for your daughters. Jeanette, I'm gonna just do more demographics. So Blondell and I went to college together. So we had, I talked earlier about being a little older mothers. So we had children that are 10 months apart. I met initially Jeanette and Rich when Niall and my son swam together. Sheila and I worked together at a part-time job over 25 years ago and had children a month apart. I met Loretta over 20 years ago because her daughter and my son were the only in the daycare at the school that Jeanette eventually went to and Sheila's daughter eventually went to. So those are those connects. But I'll let if you want to, however you want to work it, talk about the experiences of being, and again, so much of what got, I think, our children through those schools, as well as us, was connection.
So I will say for me, and I've said this to Cara on multiple occasions, being a working parent, I like both my ex-husband and our jobs were very demanding. And we laugh and joke because I will say for a long time, when Niall was in high school, they thought Sheila was her mother. Right? I mean, and not because I wasn't present, but the beauty of the Village was that if I couldn't be present, that any one of these women here could stand in the gap for me, and the school knew that they were representing me, right? And so to see any one of these women on the screen at school for Niall, whether it was Waldron Mercy or Agnes Irwin, right? The school knew that they had to come to these women the same way they would come to me as her mother. And so I can say that I would not have been able to do the job that I needed to do without them.
And it was a blessing for me because I had taken a position. So I worked like 5 minutes away.
Right.
So it was a blessing for that time period that I was there in, at that job that was only 5 minutes away from that private school. So that was in itself allowed me to be able to be that contact, and pick up the kids, and which was part of, not the responsibilities, because I don't consider anything of that nature responsibility. It was a joy having the guys in the back of the car, or driving them to wherever they needed to be, or driving and dropping them off at home, because I was witness to some really interesting conversations. But it was a joy. It wasn't a responsibility. It was really a joy something that I look back on with great fondness. Sometimes not at the time, but I can really look back on those times, even like Jeanette said, you know, where a teacher would say, "Oh, you're Niall's mom." And I'm like, well, kind of, sort of, but no.
Yes.
You know? And eventually they got it. Eventually they got it, you know. And they just, it became used to seeing, you know, either any of us picking up the girls, guys, and it was just, you know, it wasn't a question. It was like, oh, okay, have a good night, you know. So it just worked out for us.
A co-parenting.
Yeah, and that's actually really important because I know, and I feel very blessed that my parents took my safety very, you know, very much to heart and were really meticulous about who I spent time with or who you know, contact with me, especially from an adult perspective. So that right there alone, having the security of knowing that you have this village of people and your child is safe is, I think, for any career woman, a blessing.
I want to add something to that. I think that what you're saying is really important, but I want to take a step back a little bit further into the formative years. You know, our children met when they were in the developmental phase. Blondell and Marcy were friends, and so they had their daughters and son growing together as little infants. Sheila knew Marcy, and their kids were growing. They knew each other from infancy, and then it was time to go to school. And so Marcy brought her son to Walden Mercy daycare, where I was at, and I'm standing there trying to find out where's this little black kid's mother at, because I don't see nobody else black like me. And then that's how Marcy and I formed it, because I was hounding her, who's this kid's mother? And from that moment, we became to be friends. And then she knew Blondell and I knew Blondell. It was just amazing how God put people together. Yes. And it's journey through that formative years of preschool, from the kids from 2 to 3 to 4, to trying to figure out how to give them things to learn about Kumai, math and English and reading. We started early with trying to figure out how do we get these kids developmentally advanced. And then we all went to the same school, and that continued to have them go from pre-K to 8th grade together. And then other people joined our village because it was important. We saw Niall, hey, where's your baby? Where's your mama at? And then Sheila, hey, bring that person in. So we started to bring people into conversations and needs, because all of us worked and people needed aftercare pickups. We needed homework checks. We needed daycare pickups. We needed tutorers. We needed everything.
We needed help.
We needed help, right?
I was a professor, so my schedule was the easiest. So I was able to serve them and bring them to my house and get dinner started and get homework and the tutors over. And while they were studying in tutors, the parents were in the other room having a good time, because we knew the kids were safe and doing, and we were growing together as women and parents. And so those formative years were critical, because there was this time to go. There were sports games that they learned how to find their way in team sports. A dance class, how to find a way to be independent and shine and still be okay with the group. And then learning about Christ and Jesus in our life. We had them in at church, learning to do speeches and singing on the choir and usher. So we was trying to give the village children a whole life, because God had given us a whole life. And our parents were watching us, watching us raise our kids this way. And so it was a powerful opportunity to let the kids see us see the kids, us help them grow together, us teach them different things, them teach us things. And then it was time to go to high school. Where are they going to go? We don't know. I'll never forget when the girls all went to a private girls' school, and I wasn't paying. I was not going to pay for a private girls' school. I didn't pay for too much for this other school, but it was Blondell. And so Blondell and Sheila and Niall took their kids and went to the school and left my baby at the other school. But it was okay because I wasn't going to pay for it. But at the end of the day, with conversations with the village moms and the ups and the downs and the goes and the don't do, you know good and well, the village child was at that school the next year. Because that's what the village do. We do that for each other. We help us think through the hard decisions, the good decisions, how to raise our kids together, what your kid is struggling with. We're here for that kid. What are you going through? We're here for you. It has been one of the most powerful things from pre-K to now. Our kids are 20.
I would agree 130%. I mean, I think the powerful thing is that we raised our kids together. We share values, similar values. And when I say we raise our kids together, I mean that. So if Loretta's girls asked me permission to go somewhere and I said yes, right? Because they would do that to us. We might be in a room and they would plot out what parent they're going to ask to go where.
Uh-huh.
They knew who to ask what
Yeah,
this
they
parent
did.
would say yes. And if I said yes, the other mothers might feel like no, but your Aunt Jeanette said yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. I mean, so when I say we raised our children together, we raised them together. And now the beauty of it is they have their own connection, right?
Mhm.
They have their own connection. I could, talk to Niall and say, how's this one? How's that one? Oh, Zamir said he might be coming to New York, or oh, what they have their own like
Powerful relationship. They have
Yeah.
a powerful relationship that
for each other.
They
You
do. I just
cannot-
saw,
uh,
I just saw
you can't
Marcus.
define it. You can't define what they have for each other.
Man,
It's
I just
just
saw,
magic.
Absolutely.
God sent it. And he manifested it so that our children, we are older parents. There's some of the village moms that Marcy said, we at the other end. We are the older age mamas, and we know that the younger end, like Jeanette and them, got her kids. But like one time, I'm gonna tell a story, Jeanette. One time, my daughter wanted to buy this dress, and I was out, and Jeanette took her shopping, and she said this dress. I'm like, what the heck is? And here come my daughter. Aunt Jeanette said it was okay. Now look good, mom. You so old school. You so old school. And Jeanette said, leave it alone. She looks good. But it was great because she did look good. It was great. It was what the village do. We like help each other. Get out of your hat, Loretta, and go over here. And it's just so nice to have sister friends that can tell you when you're right, when you're wrong, when you're crazy, when you're strong. And it's just you cannot put a price on what we have.
I agree. Let me
I
ask,
will tell y'all outside of the village, if I can put in outside of the village, I'm loving this because I was raised as a village child and all that kind of stuff. I didn't have it when my child was growing up, but I was the village. Like I was the mom who was flexible with taking all the kids to school and picking them up and doing all that kind of stuff. And I'm telling you now, I love this. I'm just loving this. I wish I was in Jersey or wherever y'all were.
so let me also ask, let me ask Bridget, who the mother who has the other boy. So Bridget and Blondie have a very special relationship. And then let me ask my sister, who does not have a child in the village. She is the mother of an older young man. Older, meaning she has a son who's 40 years old. I know my sister, like she's 15. So she got a nice young son. So let me, Bridget, ask us again, she and Blondie's relationship is ever so special. And that's how we met Bridget. And again, she has a son who's only a year younger than mine. And then get my sister's perspective, who doesn't have children, but has been with us since probably the kids were about 3, 4.
Yeah, Robbie.
Okay. So Blondie and my relationship started when I was 12. I met Blondell as a young college student from Penn State teaching dance class in North Philadelphia, and we stayed connected. I mean, I latched onto her and her family because I admired her family and the closeness they had. I also come from a big family, but her family was just different. And we separated for a little bit. And when I was in need, when my mother got sick and my mother passed away the day before my last day semester of nursing school, I was able to find Blondell, and her mother and her sister was there for me, and they came to my graduation. I also was there for Blondell when she had her daughter, because like Marcy said, they were older, having kids. So I actually helped babysit her daughter and tag along with her. And I went through a hardship and losing a child. Then I end up having a child that next year. So they're like 2 years apart. And I came to the village because I was there for Blondell. I need you to get Brielle to Loretta's house. They're having a swim party. And so that's how I connected with them. And then I became the hairdresser mom and the whatever nurse. Blondell would get up in the morning before she took Brielle to school. Bridget, I need to come to your house. Her tooth is loose. And she would bring Brielle to me for me to pull her tooth out. And then she would take Brielle to school. So I was always there, no matter what. Anybody could call me and I could be the backup too. But that's how I came along with the village.
Still,
like Marcy said, we're the only two to have boys, and Blondell and Brielle and Zamir went to camp first together. And then the other crew came one year and they all went away to
But the
overnight
village
camp.
to the camp. You
Yes, they took over Camp Mohican. It was awesome. But yes, so we have all enjoyed the village for years and years and years.
The rest of the kids would go. It was amazing. You told us to go.
Yes.
We would all save our money and go because we
No,
believed in each other.
I didn't. I wasn't there yet.
No,
Sheila
Sheila
wasn't
wasn't.
there.
Sheila,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not mad, Sheila, because that
I
was
just-
another one of those times where Blondie's like, "Camp, what? I'm not paying all that for camp. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that with no camp. We're not doing camp for 2 weeks. We're not doing camp for whatever." And then all of a sudden, we're at Camp Mohican 3 years later in a row, and he's there for
All
the whole
there.
time. I'm like, okay.
And my son,
Going to Camp Mohican when we stopped. I was like, all right, he likes it.
my son asked to go at the age of 7, and people were like, "You're gonna let him go to camp?" And I'm like, I didn't ask him, did he want to go? He saw a video at Brielle's house, and he's like, I want to go. My husband was like, oh, I don't know. We drove up there and visited a camp, and he went at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He missed the summer of 12-year-old, 13, 14, 15. He went all the way up until he was 15.
Wow. That was
He enjoyed it, and I sent him every year.
We stopped going, but it was good.
So, BB, sometimes we call my sister Robin, Robbie, or BB. So
They call me Rob. Yeah, Robbie. But and so this beautiful, phenomenal women, I don't remember the first time I met up. So I already knew Sheila from Sierra because Marcus and Sierra were, Marcy and Sheila worked together. So I'd already known CC from the birthday. I knew Blondie. I met Brielle when she was just a little baby. We was babysitting and watching her and holding her. And then Marcy met Loretta from the children going to school. And I think the first time I came over to your house, Loretta, I'm not sure, it was Halloween. And I was dressed as Catwoman. And
Halloween parties too.
And Niall looked at me and she said, "Are you Catwoman?" But she was Catwoman too. And I was like, yes, girl.
I remember that party.
But I mean, the bond, the children, I think the most amazing to me is kind of what you said, Sheila, earlier, is that how long this has gone on, this bond for years. It wasn't temporary of just the children, and it grew into this beautiful relationship with the children, the mothers, the extended family. I mean, we have been at Loretta's house for birthday, anniversary, Christmas, tree trimming, come let's have a drink, get in the pool, the children are downstairs. It's just been this wonderful, absolutely great bond. And I know that I can call any of these women, and there are some village women and friends that are not with us this evening, but we know if we call any one of them for our children, for our parents, for our grandchildren, anyone, these ladies are here. And it's just been a beautiful relationship. And I feel what we have is just so unique that not many people can talk. And I'm here to brag about it because I think it's awesome. And it is worth bragging about. And people, all my friends and family, everybody know the village. Oh, your village, yeah, they know about it because it really is awesome. And these women and their husbands and their ex-husbands and their extended family have done a tremendous job of raising your children. And I bow down to you, sisters, because you are working mothers and y'all get it in. And I thank you. I thank you all for being my extended sisters.
You got it. You got it.
Thank you, Robbie. But I wanted to
Go ahead, Sheila.
just my little piece. For me and being a single mom, is that right? Raising my child by myself, and the difficulties that entailed, and trying to manage financially, spiritually, emotionally, a girl child. I think it would have been extremely difficult on my own. Granted, I have family here, but not a huge family base. And for me, relationships have always been very important. I have, a relationship with one of my friends from 3rd grade. I met her, because I'm originally from New York. So coming here, oh, that's a whole nother story. Oh, we need to have another session on just that alone. Oh my God, being on a block with like 12 girls the same age, that's a story in itself, but I digress. So for me, relationships are very important. I think with being a part of the Village crew allowed me to raise my daughter in a group of women and men, because we have some fantastic Village men in the group. I mean, Village dads who kind of took on that role, and we could talk about the times when, you know, Cece brought her male friend to one of the parties that Loretta was having, and how the Village dads kind of stepped in, you know, as her dad, because who wasn't there, and kind of gave him that, you know, if you remember Will Smith and Bad Boys, one of those scenarios. And it was fun, but it was heartwarming for me to see that they took that seriously, and not, I mean, jokingly too, but relationships. It was important for me to be a part of developing long-term relationships. For my daughter, for her to develop long-term relationships where she has a base of friends. Granted, you develop and you meet other people and they become part of your friendship base. But for me, it's always been important to have that base. And with the Village, Cece has that base of friends. You know, they're going to go and do their own thing, but ultimately they could pick up the phone and get in the group chat with the friends they've had since kindergarten, or in some cases Montessori school, or some cases, you know, later in elementary school, like 3rd or 4th grade. But that's their base. They could always fall back on. They could say things that to this base that they can't say to a good friend they met maybe in college, that, you know, don't quite understand them the way their base of friends can understand them. So I think it's important for kids to have that pace. So I think we're blessed that we can count not just one child that has one friend, but she has a community of friends, or he has a community of friends, male and female. Because like Robbie said, a number of the Village parents aren't on the call, but it's very important for me, relationship wise, for me to develop the relationship that I have with each and every one of you, and for Cece to be able to have that relationship not only with the Village kids, but with the Village parents. So maybe she's not comfortable talking to me, talking to me, but as I know she's done, Loretta, Jeanette, call another parent, you know, and talk to them about whatever the issue might be. So I think it was important in developing and being a part of the Village, because it's just not my voice, it's many voices. Right. It's just not my concern, it's many others' concerns. It's not just my words, it's the words of everyone. Right. So it's been really a blessing to be a part of the Village. And again, you know, so many people, when they see what's going on in our Village, they're envious in a certain way, because it's like, wow, I wish I had that for my son, or I wish I had that for my daughter. And two, given that the middle school, the elementary, middle school, and high schools that we've attended have primarily been white, it's a blessing that we had a group of African Americans that we could rely on as our support. Not just one person, not just one family, but many.
Let me ask you, because that was one of the questions, I'm sorry to interrupt you, that Cara was asking in terms of how those experiences have been for our children attending predominantly white schools. So we've identified that having a Village has clearly been a blessing, probably for them going through that experience. But, you know, for those who may be on listening who have young children, or how would you say that that they were able to get through that experience? Because I think each of them, they've had a collective experience, but they've also had different experiences attending a predominantly white private institutions in the local 5-county Philadelphia area.
Well,
So
I would say, yeah, I would say that it's important, and I'll get off, but I would say that it's important just from the support perspective, just from seeing somebody that looks like you in your group, I mean, your base. It's not like you have to hang out with Becky. You can hang out with Niall, or you can hang out with Jolie, and you still have Becky as your friend,
Right.
but you have your own set of, you have your own friends that support you because of who you are. And you don't feel like you have to change to be part of another group.
Right.
So I think it's important to have that solid base, and not everybody has it. But even and for those who may be listening, even if you find one person, that becomes your village, you know. But again, it goes to shared values, and you got to like them a little bit, you know. But you know, it's tough when you don't have someone there that you can that can be your support in a situation like that. It makes it difficult because you don't see someone that looks like you. And our kids have been blessed to find a group.
I agree. Yes.
Of people that looks like
you.
you.
I keep emphasizing that because that was my experience as a child. I was the only Black girl in my middle, you know, in my grade in middle school. And that's why this really stuck with me, because as you said, I didn't really have that base at school. And, you know, so that support system is really, I mean, I excelled, but it was a difficult experience. And I think that that's why I thought that this was just remarkable that you all came together, and what came out of it, not just that you came together at that time, but like you said, over a 20-year period. And I'd love to hear, you talked about that this is only a subset of the village, but one thing that Jeanette and I always talk about is that you were a self-sustaining village. You had everything you needed in that village. So as she always says, if she needed a doctor, you had a doctor in that village. So I'd love to hear about, you know, the effect of that and how you all supported each other in that effort as well.
Before we leave the other one, I just want to say one more thing about what Sheila was saying. The strength of the village children also gave them voice. Them having a chance to be together and get solid as a rock, because we helped them become solid. When things emerged in this white racist institution that they were involved in, they could be able to rise up and talk about it with us, or talk about it out loud in class, but not walk through it with pain and shame. And so we created, through this village, we was able to do that because our kids did encounter stuff. Let's be real. This white racist institution that these kids went in, and these schools they went in later, without the village and without the strength of God, we wouldn't have been able to raise these kids to be able to do that journey, because that was hard, being at a predominantly white, racist, rich, higher class school where these kids were going. So,
but I also think too, equally important for the parent. Like, so I will say for folks that are watching, that having a village helps you to navigate. As a young, you know, Black mother, bringing, you know, when Rich and I brought Niall to Waldron, there was some dynamics and things that we didn't understand because that wasn't our experience growing up. I mean, we both went to Catholic school, but that's different than going to a private school. And so being able to have a network of other mothers and fathers that we would have meetings at Loretta's house to strategize about different things and to talk about issues that came up, to have think partners, to have a think partner that could help you navigate what sometimes could be a racist institution or a situation that presented itself at the school. I can think of one that Sheila went through, you know, in high school with her daughter, that the village came together and helped her to navigate as well. So it was equally important for the parents. We learned and grew together as well as those children having the support of their extended family to support them and give, as Loretta said, voice in school in a predominantly white environment.
And we also allowed to.
Can I just say one thing, Jeanette, with you saying that, I can think about times of us gathering together, and some of you, the mothers, would sit in the dining room and have discussions about what the children were dealing with, what was going on with school. Everyone, like, then there was some other, like, maybe I couldn't relate to that because I wasn't dealing with my child. You know, you guys are dealing with issues with your children and school and all the dynamics that they're up against. And then I might be in the kitchen, but you guys were sitting there. You were working together. Y'all were talking it out. You were helping one another. You were suggesting. You were, let's look at this. Let's look at that. And I don't know that I've ever spoken about that, but I've always been so aware of watching you ladies do this. Not just ladies, because just as you said, Sheila, it was fathers there, it was extended family. And so I'm so appreciative that you mentioned that, because it was very, very just obvious of what you guys were trying to do, just trying to build the strength of your children and coming together, which is just another form of the village.
That's important.
I think,
But
Cara,
to speak on your point, Cara, in the village, we had such an eclectic, if that's the proper word to use, group of professionals, of men, women of different professions, skills, knowledge base, that was very helpful. I mean, you had attorneys, you had, as someone said, doctors, nurses, teachers, psychologists, therapists. And it was bringing all those strengths together and having that pot that you can from time to time dip into to say, help me, please, help me, please. And I did have a situation, and oh my God, it was a situation that I probably would have run from, but I had attorneys and I said, oh, I forgot, my base here, who really pulled my coattails and said, no, Sheila, you're not going to do that. This is what you're going to do. And just laid it out for me. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Well, I also
Oh my God. Such a great group. I mean, amazing, in just being so helpful and not making me feel like it, because I'm not one to ask for help. Have never been. I'm not going, it's hard for me to ask someone to help me. But sometimes in certain situations in this group, they saw the need or they would hear about it. And I would get a phone call or I would get a text message. I heard so-and-so said that such and such and such. No, this is what you're going to do. This is what we're going to work this out. You're going to fight this. You're going to do this. And I'm like, okay,
Right. And Sheila, you know what? I think to your point, what it also did was for the children, it allowed the children to see such a wide variety of backgrounds. So they got to, so while we were being helped, or sometimes the assistance was for self, sometimes for the children. So they educate, like Bridget spoke earlier about, she's a nurse. We have another nurse, Loretta's a nurse by profession. So we have nurses in the group. And today, like right away, something might come up and I'm like, well, Marcus, well, let me call Bridget. Well, let me call Tosh. Well, let me ask. So we have nurses, we have educators, we have people who were in city government. We have attorneys. So there's such a wide range that we have professors. So there's such a wide range of professionals, both from, from the parents, from, extended family. So the children also got to see and live those experiences as well. And for some of them, that has shaped some of their experiences. And as they came along and decided maybe what path they wanted to take, there were different village parents that we could tap into that could help give them some advice, could help mentor them through certain parts. And that part is just as rich as well.
I have been blessed, and I thank you for
jump back to what I believe is two of the roots of what has allowed us is to lean on each other for the many years that we have. And a couple of us already spoke about it. We share the same values. And one of the fundamental values I know has been an anchor for us is all of us, irrespective of what school we sent our children to, because we have Bridget who sent Zymir to a charter school. But implicit, that the invisible thread for all of us is that we wanted the best education we could figure out for our kids. And we leaned on each other and shared information, because we came to recognize that no one of us knew it all, but what we knew we were willing to share, and other village parents made important critical decisions about our village kids' education because of the sharing of information that we've done so many years.
I would agree, Wendy. And we
Yeah.
also laid a faith-based foundation for them.
Faith-based
Some of us
Mhm.
went to the same churches. Some of us went to different churches. You know, so I always say at one point, my son, myself, and my husband at the time were all at different churches. And why was my son somewhere different? Because Aunt Loretta, the Pied Piper of Get Your Child.
I'm all to my church.
Right? So Marcus is the one to this very day who stuck and stayed with her since he was 5. And so he stayed and went to that church with her and her girls all the way up until high school. You know why? And so when the kids sang on Sunday, and Zamir was there as well, when they sang on Sunday, then I would go to that church because you know the kids are singing. So Marcus would have a solo. He'd never tell you a solo. So the kids are singing. So, you know, so on Sunday you would go. So we also have a strong faith and belief in God. We pray often, and we know at the end of the day, you know, we know that we come together, we pray together, we worship together, we're raising our children together. And as Blondell always says, we came together because we have like values in terms of the way we are trying to raise our children and how we want to live our lives for ourselves as well.
I want to add one thing. I remember one time when we were all together and everybody, up in where we were living and going to school, all the kids were Jack and Jillers and we were not in Jack and Jill. And so they had a program and a workshop for that. But what we learned to do is do the same workshops. So we created our own workshops, our own trainings, our own weekend retreats, our own strategies. We did workbooks, workshops, do this, do that. We created everything so our children did not miss a beat.
Right.
And so we were excited about
it. Right. It just so happened, I mean, that for none of us, we happened not to be in Jack and Jill. I mean, just whether our lives or that wasn't a path. But to Loretta's point, there was one weekend where the kids did a whole weekend workshop. They did sexual health.
Business health.
Sheila did some financial health. Rich came in there and did stuff. We did self-esteem building. We, you know, so we talked about careers. Blondell had the kids do a scavenger hunts one time in the city. So their lives were enriched because, again, they had their own inner village still. They're connected today. I saw Marcus earlier today. I said, "Oh, Marcus, you got your hair braided. Who braided your hair?" He's like, "Jolie."
My daughter.
That's Loretta's.
And so we also had a nice thing because we had foundations at major institutions. So the kids hung out at University of Penn because we were there. They hung out at City Hall with Blondell because she was there. At different foundations.
You know, somebody's coming over, going wherever. You know, they have their own connection that is just another level of phenomenal.
It was believed. So it's a blessing, but we're just talking about everybody. If you join us, it is just to understand how God has blessed us with each other. I don't have any siblings. My brother died when I was younger, before I met everybody. And so this village became my siblings. These sisters in the room have just been the sisters I've never had. And so you can be birthed by sisters and you have sisters by birth, but there's nothing like having sister friends that you came together to join and fall in love with and be together and grow. So I'm grateful for the blessing God did for me with sending me my sisters.
Amen.
So,
Can I
Tara,
add in?
I agree.
Bernita?
Can I add in on the outside? First and foremost, I'm like you. I love this. I want to piggyback on my experience from the outside. I've had many villages, and hearing you all reminds me of my villages. First and foremost, my first village is like Cara said, I was brought up in a village. I was brought up with that mindset. My mother was the neighborhood villager, you know, so we were brought up to know what village meant. And if you really want to look at the history of it, Black people always had a village. So that's a blessing to take on that in a whole, as a whole. Me and Cecilia, we went to elementary school together. We had a village. Your mother knew her mother, my mother knew her mother. They went up to the elementary school. They were teachers, they were substitutes. So we walked together. You better go over her house and walk down the street with her. make sure you got somebody to go with, make sure your mother know this girl, you're going over her house. So I grew up in a village, and I'm grateful for that because it made me a villager. Just like Q said, I had a daycare, so I was the villager. All the mothers came to me, okay, well, what school your children going to? Because that's where my children going, and we're gonna keep this village going on and on and on. You gonna go can you pick up this kid from the after school, and then you pick up this kid, and you bring them all back together, like you said, and teaching them those values, teaching them what it means to be socially and emotionally attached to somebody, teaching them that you need to look out for this person, because if something happened, I need you to speak up for that person too. And like you said, I continued on that atmosphere. Then I went to a charter school for my kids. We were the foundation. Black mothers were the foundation, because the founder of the charter school was white. So she didn't know. She was in a Black neighborhood. She was in a quote unquote ghetto neighborhood. So she didn't know what it meant to raise Black kids or be a principal. So the mothers came together and said, look, we're going to be on your committee. We want to know what you're doing for our kids. We want to know what you're teaching our kids. We want to know all of that. So we created that village too. And I'm blessed with that, to say that my kids that came out of that charter school, they're still friends with all of those kids in the school. And then my fourth village, my kid is a Broadway kid. So we had a village on Broadway. It was all the mothers. If you had to leave your kid on Broadway, you knew that another mother was there to pick up your kid, and so forth. If you had to catch the subway and you couldn't take your kid down to be on Broadway with them, the mother was like, I got them. I got all the kids. We're going to do this together. And mind you, remember, Black kids on Broadway, The Lion King, we were the only Black people up in there. They didn't want to hear about us. So we had to join together. And then a lot of husbands may have went, and wives like me, I had to stay back. So the mothers would look out for my husband. You need some help with your son? Come on, I got you. Especially since they were natives of New York, and we didn't know nothing about New York. So they was telling us how to catch the subway, how to do this, how to go to this laundromat, how to do all of that. And it's been such a blessing. Like you said, it's such a jewel to have that, because now I still have my village with those Broadway moms. Like right now, y'all, I'm in California. I live in California. So I still have my people that are still up north in New York, but they have to come. Their kids got to come here sometimes to do some auditions. Benita, can my kid come stay with you? Can you go pick them up at the airport? Can they come and stay with you for a couple of days while they do this? Yes, absolutely. So we're still together for that. Can I send my kid over to New York to go to this? They're going to be on the show for a couple of weeks. Can they stay with you? Absolutely. So it's so valued. It is a very awesome jewel to have, and to hear this from you all, that is still there. I'm grateful to say that I have been a part of some great villages myself, and this is very, very important, like you said. And and to have that mindset within yourself too. You know what? I'm a villager. That means I'm a villager. That means I want to be there for somebody like somebody was there for me. I'm going to continue this village atmosphere going. Hey, Cara, what? You need something? I got you. Hey, Q, you need something? I got you. Hey, Joetta, you need something? I got you. And I want to keep that mindset within me too, because our community needs that to be self-sufficient, because knowledge is power. And if it's something that I know, I want to share with my people, because then we can come together as a multitude and be a great blessing to somebody else. So y'all, man, that's why I wanted to be a part, because this is beautiful.
We have another Philly sister that has joined us in the house, another good girlfriend and village mom. So we're gonna let Ingrid introduce herself.
Hello, everyone.
Ingrid.
I'm Ingrid. I'm in Philadelphia, by the way. And I appreciate Jeanette and Marcy, the newest Good Girlfriend, for inviting us to this forum to share. And just falling in, I'm sorry I was late. I had mom duties, but I was listening to Loretta when she mentioned, she didn't have siblings. I do have siblings, but I'm the oldest, if you will, of those. And the dynamics is different amongst these ladies. And I will say that I met everyone during the children's school age years. And I met Blondell, of course, through Marcy. And I'll just say they're all village moms through education and church and friendships and whatnot. But as Loretta mentioned, the sisterhood piece for me is something that's been very uplifting. My background is it's a tad different in that. And I think, you know, all of the women, Sheila, Jeanette, Robbie, Blondie, Marcy, Loretta, they, you know, every one of them brings to me a different element of self. And all of that, you know, coming together, commingle is something that builds me up in a great way. Each part of them has become a part of me. And through break times when I'm broken totally, and through times when I'm at my highest of highs and joy. If you heard also our children have gone through, you know, middle school, grade school, high school, you know, they're together. They've been together, I guess, 20 years. Did you all calculate that? And they're still rocking and rolling. They're playing in Cece's birthday now. So it's been a blessing. I'm grateful to come to this point in my life and have that network and that support of, you know, positive, thoughtful, and very spiritual and endearing women who impart their values and their love upon me and my family. Again, it's been a wonderful experience, and it all started at Loretta's house. And I've been in it, I've been out of it, and I've been in it, and I'm not going nowhere. And it's been a blessing.
It's been a blessing.
Thank you.
I just want to share.
I'm gonna get weepy, Ingrid. I was getting weepy.
I know. I'm going to share some of the comments from the Facebook Live with you ladies, just so you can hear some of them. Lynette Sutton said, loving this, Marcy. Jolie says, those are all my mamas. I think that's a testimony. Jolie is one of the village children. So I think that's Loretta's daughter. So I think that's a real testimony to how important the village is to the children as well. So thank you, Jolie.
And I was reading that too. And Lynette, and then Lynette's next comment was, these ladies taught me how to emerge into motherhood. Yeah, I thought it was really nice.
Oh,
That was sweet.
And the beautiful thing about the village, I'm the only one that has 2 daughters. So they were at the village, not only embraced my oldest one, but my baby was 2 years behind her. And everybody in the village just brought her in like their little sister, just brought her right along. And so it's just been a nice journey to not only have my oldest daughter, Jolie, but my baby, Julianne, be brought right into it and continue to be part of it and grow and thrive. And she's the last one to be in college right now. She's a senior trying to graduate.
And look, a funny story. So when the girls were in high school and Julianne, you know, came to the same high school with all her older sisters, and there was a party that she went to that Now went to, and Now made her leave. And so Loretta, you know, Julianne was like, Mom, you know, Now, you know, made me leave. And Loretta was like, then you better leave. I was like, nope, sorry, you gotta go. Get out of here. This party is not for you. I was like, oh my God. A big sister, not Jolie, but now I was like, no, Aunt Loretta, she gotta go. She can't stay here. Made her go home. And Loretta didn't miss a beat. She was like, then you gotta go home. And she told you gotta go home.
I don't want this experience to end without sharing a thankfulness that's on my heart. We focused a lot on our children, rightfully, because they've been the seedlings for our experiences. But the other intangible that most of the world would not see is that we've been there for each other at our lowest points. And I memorized the phrase by Dr. Martin Luther King that I apply to most relationships that I have, and and networks that I'm a part of. And it says, what he said is that the true character of a person is not where they are during times of comfort and convenience.
Mhm.
And my amended version of that is the true value of a relationship, of a friendship, is not where your friends are during times of comfort and convenience, because that's easy and it doesn't count.
Right.
What matters is where your friends are, to use Marcia Penn Cummings' phrase, ride or die, where your friends are during times of controversy and challenge.
Yes.
For me, that is the pure test of what the value of that relationship really looks like. And this group of women, at the lowest point in my career, came to my aid and didn't have to. It took one ask. I didn't have to beg nobody. I didn't have to do multiple emails. I didn't have to do multiple texts. All I said was that I needed help to get through another election. And these band of women came together at Loretta's home and raised sufficient dollars for me, where in that next election, not only did I win, but I won handsomely. And
Yeah.
I am always mindful of those who ran away from me during that time and those who stayed close by. So the another invisible lesson is that we are there for each other during the rainy season and the winter seasons as well.
I agree.
That for me cannot go unrecognized and not mentioned.
So important.
It didn't just validate, but it gave me the right prerogative and privilege to list the village wherever I want, when I want to. And so I do that unapologetically because of that one experience. And I'm going to use this time to thank all of you all for being there when it mattered the most, period.
Right. I agree. We all have.
Heart emoji.
Right. So we've only had, we've told this little itty bitty bit of story. There's
Many stories, many.
There's a lot.
Right. There's so many. So my husband passed in 2016, and I think maybe the day after he passed, I just remember it was a beautiful week, and I think by like at 2:30 or 3 o'clock every day, I just opened all the doors of my house and folks just flowed through. I'm like, because it took a day or two, and I'm going, folks just showed up at the door. Just showed up. So when you're talking about some sisters putting stuff into action and making things happen, I use ride or die, and I don't use that loosely. I use, because everybody's not a ride or die, and everybody you don't want to be your ride or die. But this group here is a ride or die. As I say, sure enough, shake them on down. This group of sisters here on the line any day, every day, any hour of the day. Loretta and I are also good girlfriends. She is also my boss and my colleague. So, and we work with students, and I tell interns, you can call us anytime, morning, noon, or night. We'll answer the phone. Good or bad, we will answer your phone call. We will answer a text. I want to think about something else that Bridget read from the text. The young lady whose text she read also used to work for Loretta as well. Sisters, we've also talked about over the other sessions we've had, the other chats we've had about impact. And so we, just like that comment came from Nettie, and even sometimes from our children, we never know the impact. Sometimes we've had on each other, but also impact we've had on others. So sometimes, we do things, we say things, there is impact in what we do. These conversations and sessions, as Cara said, we do them to touch someone else's life. But I would say from listening to comments that we have and other comments, we also are impacting other people's lives in addition to our own. And for me, that's big ups as well.
I love that, Marcy. And you know what else impact we're having is our parents. Our parents are watching us. Your mom and dad, Jeanette's mom, Blondell's mom's in heaven. My mom's in heaven. Sheila's parents, they're looking at us and what we're doing, what we're feeding our children, how we are doing this. And I remember before my mother went to glory, I think she said to you guys, did she say something to you, Marcy? You got your girls or something? What did she say?
Loretta's mom, because again, it's Loretta. So Loretta spent the formative years becoming a professor. She lived in Princeton, her and her husband, and her mother was, you know, you're gonna have some kids. And y'all know me, my mother never asked me that, right? So Loretta's mama wanted to know, you're gonna have some babies. So when she decided to, you know, finally have her babies, and then she moved back to Philly, and her mother always said, I thank God for you girls, because she was thanking us for Loretta, not so much for those baby girls, because after a while she knew we had the girls, but it was for she said, I thank God for you girls, for what you're doing for my daughter, because she understood the path our daughter had taken. She watched the struggle. She watched Loretta struggle, wanting to have children. She watched her struggle, working very, very hard to be a professor, to be a Black female in the institution like the University of Pennsylvania in the School of Nursing. So, and then finally, she's like, oh, not only did she come back home, but she came back home and got a village. And her mother always said, she said, I thank God for you girls. That was her statement. I mean, and my parents are still alive today. And my mother, you know, Robbie, she'll talk about the village. You know, Jeanette has spoken, sisters, Jeanette's mom spoke before, you know, about the brunch. You know, who has a brunch from 12 noon to 12 midnight? We do. At every chance we get. So, you know, it just, you know, we could spend forever, you know, in a talk, after a talk, talking about stories, good, bad, and different. But at the end of the day, we have all been here together, whether it's been one of us with the other or 10 of us with the other, the kids and a parent. You know, sometimes it's a kid and a parent showing up. You know, now you got kids driving. So Loretta's sending her kids to do a drop off or a drive by. Whatever it is, whatever it takes, no matter how big or small, we are getting the job done.
And speaking of parents, I just want to say this one thing. My mom, has always been protective, and as I said, I don't have much family here. Most of my family is in New York or South Carolina. And my mom, who's a worry wart, she would always worry, well, where's Cece? Where's the baby? Calling Cece a baby. Where's the baby? And as soon as I say, oh, Mom, she's with Marcy. Oh, okay. Or she's with Jeanette. Oh, that's not Mom. Oh, okay. She would be, all her worry would just disappear. As soon as she's over Loretta. Oh, okay.
She's safe. She's good.
Little did they know that over Loretta's like, what?
Pajamas and going to spend the
How
night.
long she been there, right?
Good thing mommy can drop by every weekend.
So it goes back to the safety and security of the village net.
Community.
That even the grandparents recognized and appreciated it.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And I know my mom did.
I want to add, as a non-villager in the formal sense, that Cecilia and I have been friends since 9th grade, not as long as Bernita, but we have our own little special village too. But and those kids have their own connections and stuff. Like, it's her 3 sisters and her 3 sisters' best friend. Her 2 sisters is the 3 of the sisters, I should say, and they're best friends. So we have this village group. It's not as formal as y'all, because we had kids at all different ages. Like, yeah, they didn't all come out the same, but they all, you know, refer to each of us as Aunt Q, Aunt Ronnie, Aunt this, Aunt that, whatever. And so I've got one of those children who's 24 now, and y'all know a little bit about Kiana. And they're in this age now where they don't trust the village. So, because my child don't know her, she know one neighbor, but they don't want to really talk to everybody. And so I'm glad that we have this discussion to say, hey, trust and talk to people that are surrounded with your children, that are surrounded in your home, that are all these things. And you know, I've taught her now that, like, your next door neighbor is not your enemy. He's a good friend. He's now my good friend, actually. But the generations go on and they don't understand that village. Like, she knew all her friends came to my house all the time. Her friends still come to my house, and she don't even live in Maryland. Like, you You know, they don't
Oh.
live near her, but they still come to me as Mama Q. And so yeah, we gotta teach our younger mothers now also and younger fathers that these villages are important. They
Mhm.
big thing.
Yeah.
We need to take care of each other, and take care of each other's kids and all that kind of stuff. And if I know I got an engineer job that Cecilia's nephew can take, yep,
Mhm.
refer him to that.
Right.
Networking. Mhm.
Love that y'all had that kind of village that was deeper than some of us.
Right.
And I think, Ronnie, what do we have? Is 10 of us together? I
Yeah,
think
it's like, yeah, 9 or 10 of us together, something like that. Yeah.
who are on this sisterhood village
Right.
thing.
Mhm.
But like she said, all our kids are different ages. Starting
Right.
with me, I was the early one.
That was a smile.
But all of our kids also know each other and know that they can call on each other. Here's an engineer, here's an
Right.
artist, here's a legal person, here's a this or that. And they
Mhm.
know that all of
Or
us,
call on one of us that's in those fields.
yeah,
Yes.
here's my auntie
Right.
this, here's my auntie.
Mhm.
So we gotta instill in the next generation and next generation that the village is still a viable thing. It's
Mhm.
That's really important. I think it's so important. My daughter Jolie is the one that's working with the apartment now. Now she's cultivating their village. They all over there building together, spending time hanging out, doing similar stuff that we did at my house. And the kids just come
Mhm.
together, they find their way there. It's just nice to see that they are still connected and they're still building the village. And they want to
Mhm.
keep this thing going no matter what. And they don't need to talk to us, they talk to each other.
right.
Network.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they got things going on that we don't even know about because we know that we strengthen them, that God is with them and making sure that they're
Mhm.
okay. And
Right.
so pray and trust and know that God got them just like God got us, and God put us all together so that we
Mhm.
can do this. And so I'm so grateful.
And something we've talked about previously is that you do what you see and what you know. So you all model that behavior for the children. They're going to continue it anyway. And Q, what you said is true, that you have to encourage them to do that. But at the same time, the trust will come when they find people that have the same values.
Values, yeah.
The important part of that you can't
makes
trust everybody. So you have to find the group that has the right values. And I'm sure that your
Yes.
daughter will continue, just like she saw you creating a village. I'm sure in time she'll do the same.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
wanted to say that I just love y'all village. Like my children went to a predominantly white high school, and in that high school they had a Black Parents Association where the Black parents got together. But it's almost like once school was over, that was it. It was like our connection was the children at school, and our interest and support was supporting them and making sure they got everything they needed for being at that school, which I love the group. And during those 4 years, well, 5 years, because I had 2 kids. But during those 5 years, we did like go to each other's houses or whatever. But it's almost like once they out of school, we might run each other at the grocery store and that's it. But I like how y'all continue y'all sisterhood, and y'all truly, truly was like a family, more than just a group of people coming together. And I just love that. And along the way, like Cornita said, I had a whole lot of villages, and I am the village person. I am the mother of all mothers. I took in. I was like
covered in the shoe.
Yeah, I'm the old mother having in the shoe. I have everybody's kids with me all the time, and everybody. And I don't drink, like, so when I go with my friends and they want to drink, and they be like, "Oh, they going somewhere? Oh, Ronnie is taking we going somewhere. She don't really want to go anyway because she don't want to do that. She'll just take all the kids to her house with her." And all the time, my house had the kids. All the kids in the neighborhood were always here. And even in my neighborhood was predominantly white. Like it was only like about 4 Black kids in the whole neighborhood, but all 4 of them would be here in my house. And the friends that my kids had at school, half of them lived here half the time. I would wake up and didn't know who was going to be at my house, or come downstairs like, "Y'all still here? Y'all didn't go home yet?" And to the point where 2 children became my god kids that my children met in elementary school. They started going to church with me. They were Catholic, but they weren't going to church. They started going to church with me. They were baptized. And then when their guardian died, I took them and finished raising them in the 12th grade. And then
Wow.
my other son, his best friend mom moved out of state when he was in the 12th grade. He came to live with me
Oh,
and
wow.
finished high school here in the 12th grade. And he's still here. he'll leave and he'll come back. Well, I love him to
It's
death. But
old Mother Hubbard.
right,
So,
I have so many names. So I'm Aunt Ronnie, I'm Mama J, I'm Mama Mama Ronnie, Mama J, and Aunt Ronnie, or
You
whatever
good.
they feel like call me.
As they call you, my sister. As long as they call you, that's a blessing.
Right.
Well, ladies,
Business people on.
we are excited about this village discussion, and I hope that this is just part one of you all coming to join us, and we can come back and talk further about this, because I mean, obviously we all agree that this is a very important topic, and the necessity of the village continues. So thank you all for joining us. At this point, we are going to highlight 2 African-American female-owned businesses. I will introduce our first guest because she is a dear friend of mine, and this is Fran Burt, and she's going to tell us about her business. And then Marcy, you have a special guest as well.
Gonna let Robbie hi Fatima. I'm gonna let Robbie introduce her good girlfriend. Robbie, you're on mute. I'm gonna introduce her good girlfriend, Fatima.
okay. Who's going first? Fatima?
No, the other lady's going first.
Okay, the other lady's going first. Go ahead, Fran.
Fatima Williams is our other guest. So Fran, we're going to start with you. Share your business with us.
Hi, ladies. Thanks for having me, Cara. My name is Fran Burt. I am a personal stylist with a company called Cabby. Have you guys heard of Cabby, maybe?
With the C or with the K?
C, with a C. So Cabby stands for Carol Anderson by Invitation. And Carol Anderson, she used to design for Neiman Marcus and Nordstrom's back in the early 2000s. And she decided, along with her good girlfriends, to take her fashions out of those stores and developed a business model that allows women to become their own stylists, personal stylists. And I joined the company back in September of 2014. So I have the collection behind me here. But with this company, Cabby is a woman-owned company. There's about 3,500 stylists throughout the country, the UK and Canada. And we do training with the company twice a year. You invite your girlfriends, your squad to your house. I bring the collection, but during COVID, I'm doing this all virtually now. But I kind of show you these videos. I show you how to put the collections together. I also have some other stylists or hostesses. If they're close to me, I'll put some things in a bag for them to have and model as well, so that you can actually see them on a body, because the videos are, of women that are models, and I am not a size 2, 4, 6, or 8. So I will wear the clothes as well. I fell in love with Cabby back in 2009. And my sister and I would host shows for my team lead, who's also my sorority sister, and my sister's line sister, and just kind of fell in love with the company. And, we all have to have multiple streams of income. So this is my happy place, because I'm an IT project manager by day for the federal government, and I do Cabby alongside of that. So that's just me. And I'm just loving it, because I get these clothes twice a season. The clothes come out fall and winter, which is August 1st to December 31st. Then we go to training in January, usually in California, but due to COVID, we did it virtually. And then our spring, to see the spring summer collection, and we're offered, training as we're there. And then the spring summer collection starts February 1st to June 30th. So now I'm gearing up for those shows and showing that collection. So that's me.
Awesome. Can you see a few of the pieces up close? Can you put a couple up so we can?
A little pink top looks nice. Is that a pink top back there?
So,
Of course
just,
you would say pink.
Tank top.
good. So just so you know, I'm dress top dressing today. So
Oh,
please,
so are we.
please don't pay attention to what I have on the bottom. But are you talking about this top?
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty. So I'm still learning the names because this was our fall collection. I'm wearing the ringleader top and the citizen's jacket, which is a true wrap top. Very Gucci inspired. It's mesh, it's very stretchy. And then this nice corduroy mustard color jacket.
I am so loving that, especially since I got girls.
Right. So this is our ruby pullover, and is it looking pink? Because it's kind of like an orangey red.
I like pink.
Yeah.
As long as it's not red.
More like a coral.
Yeah.
Correct.
You know red is your favorite color, Loretta, so stop it.
And red is my favorite color too.
It's a couple of us on here that's our favorite colors.
All right, Roars. All right, I hear you.
Pink. I like the pink, my girlfriend. So find me some more pink over there.
We'll get you some pink.
So,
What is that, Fran? Is that like houndstooth, or like there's a in the corner? Not yes. Can we see that?
yeah. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. I just finished working out.
Don't worry about it.
We're all sisters.
Yeah,
It's
don't worry
okay.
about that.
We just want to see the clothes.
That's it.
So this is it's called our Regency coat. This was actually from the fall, but it has all of these different colors in it. It's got a little bit of the mustard, it's got cranberry in, it's got cream.
That's cute.
And it actually, you know, Cabby likes to pay a lot of attention to detail. So the inside of it has like this polka dotted shell. It's got great buttons on it as well. And then it's got that fringe bottom here.
Oh, that's
Oh, that's cute. That's different.
Also,
how much is that?
That's different.
so this is my sample. So a little bit about the collection. The collection ranges in size from 0 to 16, extra small to extra large. We do have extended sizes that we started to try out last spring. So we have some pieces that come extra small and 00, and then we have some pieces that are 18, 20, and XXL. This coat is a medium. This is my sample. And at the end of the season, so we get the collection twice a season, and at the end of the season, I sell everything. So this is for sale. And it's a size medium, and it's $199.
It's very cute.
I like that top she has on.
Oh,
and it's
that was
a-
last season too. That was fall.
So is that how it works? You can't buy the season before once it's over?
Correct.
Okay.
So I do have some pieces that are left from the fall, and I can share with you my Cheddar Up link so you can kind of go out there and look at it. If you have questions, feel free to call me, email me, text me. Yeah, once the season is over, typically the items are not available. And then when we start the next season, how it works is if you, as a hostess, bring your girlfriends together, you get items at half off depending on the sale of the show. So as long as you bring 2 other ladies with you and they spend at least $250, you get 1 item at half off. And then as they spend $500 or more, you get 2 items at half off, and then you start accruing Cabby dollars as well. That goes towards your order.
Okay.
So I can share, you know, my website. I can share.
How do we? What's your contact information? We're gonna put it in the Facebook Live. How would they contact you?
I have my website. I can put it in the chat. You want?
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, you can put it in the chat. That's great.
Thank you.
You are quite welcome. So due to COVID, I'm doing all of this virtually, but typically what I would do is I would pack up this rack and bring it to your house so that you ladies could try it on and touch it and feel it. But due to COVID, I am only doing shows virtually. For anybody that I live in, well, actually, I'm in DC right now because I sold my house very quickly right before Thanksgiving and didn't have a new house to go to. So I'm living with my sister right now. But if anybody's in the DMV area, you're interested in seeing some of the pieces, I can put them in a bag and bring them to you. Like I said, there are different sizes in all of these pieces, and it range from 0 to 16. And I may supplement some things because, like I said, I'm not a 2, 4, 6, or 8. So I will buy things that will fit me so that you can kind of see it on my body type. So typically I'm a 10, 12 on the bottom, and then I'm a medium, depending on the top. So this top that I'm wearing is a large because I needed to make sure that I was having great coverage. But it's a nice stretchy material. So I love it that, you know, I can wear it underneath something, or if I could put on a cami underneath and kind of wear it open as a semi duster as well. But I will put my phone number in here as well.
Okay.
Having a hard time, Fran. I'm trying to search based on what you put in the chat, but
yeah, and I spelled cabbie online incorrectly.
Okay. That's what it is. So it should be cabbie without the P. Okay.
Correct. I was
Okay.
typing too fast. I also have a private Facebook group. Just for you guys to know, we are actually, I'm on a team. I told you there was at least 3,500 women that are stylists through Cabbie. I am on a team of mostly African-American women. My team is getting ready to do a multi-stylist preview show of the spring summer collection on Saturday, and then we're going to do it again on Sunday. So if you connect with me on Facebook, I can make sure that you get the information so you can kind of just dial in Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon, whatever your schedule allows. But we have a great group of women that we work together with. Even though we all have, this is our own personal business, you're not alone in this business. The women on my team are amazing. We support each other. Many of us work full-time. Some of us do this full-time. But it's just an awesome company to work for, and I'm just glad that I have arrived with it and continue to work through it, because like I said, I get clothes twice a year that I can play around in.
So so what you're saying is not only can you purchase clothes from you, but if someone's interested in the business opportunity, there's opportunities there as well. That's awesome.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Awesome. So now we can't wait. I think Fran showed us the clothes, and I think Fatima has something to go with the clothes. So Fatima.
I am so happy to have my amazing sister friend Fatima join us. This sister here, Fatima, you know I love you, sister. You are my, y'all don't even know. We met at the gym. She is all in. She is my sister. She is my reason, she's just awesome. I love you, and I am so thankful that you are here to join us this evening. So with further ado, welcome, Fatima.
Thank you for those glowing words, but you know what they say, you see in others what is in yourself, my dear. You listening to you ladies tonight, before I even started about my jewelry, it's just like I saw my mother, my grandmother, my aunt. I saw the village that is who we are come together, and all of you women, and it was such a humbling experience just to bear witness to true sisterhood. And Robin is an amazing example of what opening your heart to a stranger in your midst who was suffering. So I could like have tears in my eyes. I'm so grateful.
Yes,
so grateful. And I really do appreciate you ladies opening your village to me even for a moment. It's a humbling experience. Yes. So I started my business 20-something years ago when my village of family expanded to include my daughter. So law school went out the window. What we're gonna do now? And I began as a street vendor on 54th Street and Sea Line Avenue for you guys who are from the Philadelphia area. And we grew our business from there. So we do fine sterling silver jewelry. We do classic pieces such as your bangles, and I don't know if we can see each other. I don't know how to work this thing too good. I don't know if you guys can see me.
I'm close.
Bangles, I'm not technical, all this kind of jazz. Loretta, know your name, was asking for pink. So we do bracelets.
Look at that.
Okay, so this can you see this? Because
I can.
Yeah. Just hold it up and bring it closer to the
help me, girl. Okay, I need a village to help.
Yeah,
That's better. That's good, Fatima.
Okay, so we do like fine gemstone pieces. Like if you look at this piece, even the clasp is done well, right? So it can like wrap around your finger. It's such a fine bracelet. So we do things of that nature. And I heard about red. So we also do bangles.
Oh,
They
that's
red
pretty.
that is hand set in sterling silver. I know we have some people who probably would like pearls. So all these pieces are on our website. So I'm just showing you what they look like. But as I put it on, and all of my pieces are handcrafted, right? So what handcrafted means to you is that it's highly moldable. It's not going to crack at the fulcrum from bending it because it's all hand done. This piece here is like an amazing piece of Navajo turquoise if people are collectors of that item. All of the pieces that we do have complementary pieces. So just like girls, we like friends. So bracelets will have earrings and things of that nature that can complement them. I have not put on the webpage the thumb rings yet. So I thought I'd give you ladies a little bit of a preview. Different sizing, but I do some pieces like this that are going to be your tri-metal pieces, all sterling silver, and then you're going to have brass and copper. They are highly stylized as well. So if anyone has a particular interest in a particular type of jewelry, please let me know. I'd be happy to give you
Do you have any necklaces, Fatima?
Well, I got so many necklaces, but they're all right? So like this one is for your more like formal type occasion, right? And pearl. But looking at, I can show you plenty of pendants.
That's what I was gonna ask, pendants, yeah.
All right, let's pull this out here. So now this neck wire that we could see here is something that you can hang a multitude of pendants on, right? So
beautiful.
Or these pendants can also be hung on an omega, something that you already have in your collection, right? So all of the pieces, got a whole collection. The red lovers might be interested in a piece like this.
That's pretty.
Which is a nice red jasper piece as well. This is an I don't know if anyone is interested in the rose pattern, which also this can go, I'm just putting it for ease on this neck wire. But like this
I'm
kind of
familiar
piece
with that.
here, it's going to be,
That's been very popular.
it's going to be a bold piece, and of course it has a ring to coordinate with it. And if that ring is too bold, which when I do a ring like this, please excuse my nails because I don't go get manicures on COVID. I put this kind of ring on my pointer finger, right? But if I do it in the smaller version, then it would go on the ring finger. You see what I'm saying? But some people like it big on the ring finger. It's predicated upon your personal style as to, what you prefer.
Okay.
So, and that's something that this is the neat bracelet. This is an absolutely delightful piece.
That's pretty.
Yeah, so all these bracelets are, now we do the classics as well. So, and these can be, the necklaces can be ordered with them as well. So we do the, your silver pearls, and you can do that. You can order necklaces on here. I think you can see it on here. Thank you. And I can do those in different gauges. So if you want a heavier gauge, longer gauge, let me know. We talk about that, and then I can do that. One of my favorite collections, which I brought out, is the bangle collection. Now, this is my modern take on those more old-fashioned type bracelets, and they layer. I mean, they like layer so delightfully. So you can put them on with that. You can put a thinner one in the middle. And I also did these to accommodate larger hands. So a lot of times women like these continuous bracelets, but they may have a more generously proportioned hand. So these will go over that 8-inch hand. But for the women who like to stack, even if your arm is small, this just goes to the top of your collection and it falls down without it being overwhelming. Now we do rings galore. So if anyone has a particular interest in a particular type of ring, I'd be more than happy to show you those as well. So what kind of
Any
jewelry?
amber rings?
Oh, God. Got a whole collection of amber. Like we start with,
Oh.
okay, so
Look
That's
Ingrid,
a hit.
look at Ingrid.
yeah. So, and then the bracelet to play with it. I think I've got a bag of rings down here. Let me double check. If not, I'll have to have my husband grab it.
It's nice.
I had a bag of rings. I didn't pull a bunch of things out with amber. Are you more interested in the blonde amber, or are you more interested in
The gold.
Probably bronzy.
the bronzy type? Okay, give me a second.
How do we reach
But
you?
I'm open. We're just doing a little preview. So
What's your contact information?
I will send it over to you. I thought I might have some down here in this box already.
okay.
Just see if I have any.
And things are available on, you mentioned your online site, your
I'm
online.
online, and
um,
the ring won't be finished uploading because I did some pictures, and I like my fingers until I saw them on camera, and we didn't like those pictures at all. So I'm doing some.
Robbie, is this? I think.
I
did
met
see
you. Yeah,
site
I met you
before?
at we had drinks together at Blue Two. It was a really crowded evening that night. I remember.
Blondie,
Okay.
yes. Remember Blondie? And we, yes.
Absolutely do.
Yeah, we had a-
For when we met at the bar.
We met at the bar and it was a wonderful evening.
We do
the
happy
lady
hour
asked about
too.
amber. This is the color you're talking about in general.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's
Okay, I'll just
beautiful.
send you
That is
some,
really pretty.
I'll give you my contact information, and I can just send you some individualized pictures of the rings. that you
Fatima,
can
put
call.
your information in the chat, or Robbie, can you put it in the chat for?
Do it,
Okay.
now- do it now, somebody, before we lose it.
I got it.
Mhm.
I just have one more question for you, Fatima. What are the price points for your jewelry? Like, what's the range?
My rings start. I hate this thing. It's doing it so weirdly now. I'm sorry. Please help me. Multitasking with computers is not my thing. Rings are going to range anywhere from $40 on up, predicated upon what you're looking at. Like this bracelet that I showed her, this is in the $300 range, right? Whereas this bangle is $65. The thumb rings are $75. So it's predicated upon what you're looking at. So my ring collection, generally speaking, is going to go from about $40 to about $125. Of course, you're going to have some $200 and $300 pieces in there, but the general range. As far as my pendants are concerned, you'll see the price point. My daughter, your sorors, the guys who wear red, is the model. So the necklaces are going to basically be in the range of about $75 to $150 until you get into the amber, which is more expensive.
You putting your stuff in the chat, your contact
I
information?
am. I'm writing it right now.
It's about to expire.
There you go. That's sent out to you, and I also put my phone number in here too.
Put it in the chat. Okay, she's going in the chat.
It is right now. It's in there.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's in there. Okay, so Fatima Williams, FatimaSilverCreations.com. You can pull that up. That's the webpage.
Yeah.
And my phone number
I
is
don't
at the
see it.
bottom.
It's
I don't
in,
see
it's in the Facebook live chat,
in the
but we'll
fa-
put it in the Zoom chat too.
Okay.
How do I do that? I don't know how to do that. Okay, I don't know how to do that. Okay, I don't know how to do that. Let me see if I can figure it out.
Fran, thank you, Fran and Fatima. Those are both of those businesses.
Oh, and you know, so you ladies know, we also do heavy pieces for gentlemen too. So we do if you look for anything for like Valentine's Day or anything of that nature. We do links that are from your common to your very distinctive. So since I'm home, I have nothing better to do. Anyone can feel free to give me a call with anything in particular they're looking for that they don't see on the webpage, because we've been in business for 20 years, and what you see on the webpage is probably about 20% of our inventory.
Awesome.
Oh.
So you'll do custom pieces then.
I do anything that you want to play with. You know, I haven't really done a lot of custom pieces in the past because my thought has always been what's in your mind is not in my mind. So like if you know something in particular that you want, then yes, I can fabricate that for you. Once we get out of COVID, I also have, you know, I can do diamond markets and all that stuff. So I can give you better prices than you would get, because diamonds are just basically just a recipe. Cut, clarity, that's it. You got your 3 C's, right? So we do have access to those markets as well. So if there's something in particular, you know, ahead of time we want, once we get back to doing the international shows, then I can do that for you ladies much more easily.
Awesome.
Very nice.
Anywhere I can serve, it's more than my pleasure.
Thank you,
If
Soror.
Need in customer
you.
service, And thank you, ladies.
you,
You ladies are
friend. Thank you for
amazing.
Thank,
You ladies are
thank you,
amazing.
ladies.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ladies, we've come to the end of our evening, but I just want to thank each of you again for being here tonight. And we always say, we hope we are a blessing to someone out there. And I mean, if anyone didn't believe in a village before or after this discussion, they should know the importance of a village. So
Yes.
that's for sure. But thank you all. Any parting words before we go? Anyone want to say anything?
Shout out to our village kids because they all celebrated graduations from college and everything. And so now they're on their own and doing their thing and still trying to go back to school and trying to find their way. So shout out to the village children. We just love
Hey, yes.
Yes.
And you ladies should shout out to yourself in a world where most people are selfish, to come together to give other people information, which is power. Information is power, and can give that to others free of charge. This is amazing grace, one of God's gifts. So you ladies are a gift to many people that you probably don't even know you've been a gift to.
Exactly.
See what I'm talking about? This is why, that's my, this is what I'm saying. He just brings it. I thank you. I thank you, Fatima. Yes.
Thank you so very much, Marcia, for all your kindness. I really, look, never call them down. I really do appreciate it.
It's all good, sister. It's all good. That's right. Reach one. We got it.
Yes.
Me too. So like I said, you have my information. Feel free to get it from Marcia or Robin. If I can be of any service, it'd be more than my pleasure.
Thank you, friend.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I hope everyone on this call, I hope this is just your first time visiting the Good Good Girlfriends chat, not your last. So hopefully we will see you very soon.
Thank you for
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a great
ladies.
experience.
Night.
Good
Bye.
night.
Good night.
Good night.
If I can figure out how to leave, I'll be good, right? It's bad. It's bad, you know. Bye.